Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in today's video we will understand how to create Xero invoice from Google Sheets. So here let's assume that I have added the invoice details in a new row in Google Sheet. So now my objective is that whenever I will be adding the new details for invoice in my Google Sheet, then I wish to generate an invoice automatically by using Xero. So now to do this, I need to build an integration between these two applications, for which I will be using this amazing integration and automation software, that is Pabbly Connect. Here my trigger application will be Google Sheets and my action application will be Xero. So to learn more about this integration, follow me through the screen.
So to begin with the process, this here is the landing page of Pabbly Connect. Pabbly Connect is an amazing automation and integration software. So here my objective is that whenever in this Google Sheet, in a new row, I will be adding the details for the invoice. Then by using the details added in Google Sheet, I want to create an invoice by using Xero. Now to do this, I need to build an integration between these two applications, for which I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can click on the sign up for free button and every month you will get 100 tasks for free. So as an existing user, I'm going to sign in. So now this here is the all applications page by Pabbly. So I will go to Pabbly Connect and click on access now to reach my dashboard. So this here is my dashboard, and to create a new workflow, I will go to my right hand side corner and click on this create workflow button. So now in this dialog box appearing, I need to give my workflow a name. So here I'm going to name my workflow as create Xero invoice from Google Sheets, and on my left hand side you can see that these are the folders that I've created before. So I want to save this workflow in the folder named as Google Sheets Xero integration, and now I'm going to click on create. As I did that, now I have arrived on a very important window which consists of trigger and action. Basically, trigger and action are the two most important principles or concepts of Pabbly Connect on which this entire automation and integration will depend. Trigger says when this happens, action says do this. Action is an automated response of your trigger application, and in a workflow, you can only have one trigger but multiple action. So now moving to my use case, that is to create Xero invoice from Google Sheets. So here in this trigger window, as I've added the details of the invoice in a Google Sheet, so here my trigger application will be Google Sheets. Here it is. And now the trigger event will be new or updated spreadsheet row. So this trigger will start working whenever a new spreadsheet row will be added or updated. So as I've selected my trigger application and the trigger event, moving to this action window, here as I want to create an invoice through Xero, so I'm going to search Xero as my action application. And now the action event will be to create an invoice with line items. So as I've selected my action application and the action event along with my trigger application and the trigger event. So here you can see a webhook URL is given, and along with that a help desk is given. So read this help desk given below carefully, because this webhook URL will help you to establish a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. So now I will take you to my Google Sheet that I've created. So this here is the Google Sheet that I've created, that is by the name of invoice sheet, and it only consists of one sheet, and these are the columns in this sheet that I've added. So now my objective is that whenever in a new row I'm going to add the details for an invoice, then automatically the details added in the row should be sent to Pabbly Connect. So to establish a connection, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to extensions, and here make sure you should have this Pabbly Connect webhooks extension. If you don't have it, you can simply go to get add-ons. And now here in the search bar, you can search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Here it is. So as you can see that I've already installed this extension, so it says installed. You can also follow the same process to install this extension. So now I'm going to close this. As I want to establish a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect, I will go to extensions, and in extensions I will go to Pabbly Connect webhooks, and then I will go to initial setup. So here in this initial setup, the webhook URL will be set up on the below selected sheet. So here you can see that it consists only of one sheet. So the sheet 1 is the selected sheet. Now moving to the webhook URL. So here from Pabbly Connect, I'm going to copy the webhook URL. And here in Google Sheets, I'm going to paste the same. Now moving to the trigger column. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent to the webhook URL. So in this Google Sheet, L is the final column, so L will be my trigger column. And now here, after selecting the webhook URL and the trigger column, I'm going to click on submit. So here it says setup configured successfully. Now I'm going to close this, as I want that whenever in a new row the details for an invoice should be added, so that details should be captured in Pabbly Connect. So now to do that, once more I will go to extensions, go to Pabbly Connect webhooks, and then I'm going to click on send on event. So this send on event will help me to send each and every row data to Pabbly Connect. So I'm selecting it. Once this is done, I'm going to refresh the page as this is an important step. So now here in this new row, I'm going to add in the details. So these are the details I've added. Here is the name, email, item name, address, quantity, phone, along with some other details. So here the date of creation is of 20th November and the due date is for 23rd of November. Here is the amount 499 and this is the item code and here is the item name. So these are the details that I've added. So now here in Pabbly Connect, you can see that I've received a response. Here is the trigger column that I've selected as L and here are some other details. So this here is the spreadsheet name, spreadsheet ID, sheet name, sheet ID, row index, along with the details that I've added in the new row. So that means the details that I've added in a new row is successfully captured over here in Pabbly Connect. So the first step of this automation is completely set up. That means now whenever in Google Sheets in a new row, the details will be added, then automatically those details will be captured over here in Pabbly Connect. So this trigger will instantly capture the new incoming data and the workflow execution will start in real time. So now moving further, as I want to create an invoice by using Xero, so here in this action window, I need to establish a connection between Xero and Pabbly Connect. So here I'm going to click on connect. And now to add a new connection, I've already logged into my Xero account in one of the tab. So here I'm going to click on connect with Xero. So now here I'm going to click on allow access as this is a secure access. So here the authorization is successful. So here you can see that Xero and Pabbly Connect is successfully connected. So this here is my organization name and the type will be a sales invoice. So here I'm going to change the type. So now moving to these fields. Here I'm going to map the name from the response received. So basically mapping is to insert the data from previous step. So as I've received the response from Google Sheets, so here I'm going to map the name. So I'm searching for the name and here is the name as demo user and I've mapped it. Moving to the email address. Again from the response received, I'm going to map the email address. Here it is. So now moving to the date. That means the creation date. So here is the date of creation. I am going to map it. Moving to the due date. Again from the response received, I'm going to map the due date. So here you can select the line amount types as well and the currency code is Indian rupee. So here I'm going to change the status that will be submit for approval. Once this is done, I'm going to scroll down. Here I need to give the line item description. So here I'm going to map the name of the product, that is LED TV. And now here I need to mention the quantity. Again from the response received, I'm going to mention the quantity and I've mapped it. Moving to the line item amount unit, that means the MRP. So here I'm going to map the price. So now moving to the line item code. Here instead of selecting from this drop down, I'm going to map it. So here I'm going to remove this. As in this Google Sheet, here I've mentioned the item code as well. So here in Pabbly Connect, I'm going to map the item code, that is as LED TV. So here I've mapped the code. So the line item account code will be sales. So now scrolling down to some other details. So here I need to mention the tax amount. So here from the response received, I'm going to search for the tax details. It is 0. Moving to the discount rate. So again from the response received, I'm going to map the discount percentage. It is also 0. So here I've mapped the details in these fields. So this method of mapping is important so that every time you receive a new response with new data, so that data can be taken into consideration in these fields. If I would have written this information manually, in that case, this information would have become static, which means that it wouldn't change even if I would have received new response. So to avoid that problem, we map the information. So here as I've mapped all of the details, now here I'm going to simply click on save and send test request to see the response. So here you can see that I've received the response with the details, and this here is a positive response. So now I'm going to take you to my Xero account. So now here you can see that this is the invoice that is created. Here are the details. Here is the name, that is demo user. Here is the invoice number, issued date, due date, and here is the from details. Here you can read the description, quantity, unit price, discount, tax, and the amount. So here this invoice is successfully created automatically by using the details that are added in Google Sheets. So this integration and automation was a successful one. That means now whenever in Google Sheets in a new row the details for an invoice will be added, then automatically an invoice will be created by using Xero.
Not just these applications, you can integrate a lot more applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you have any doubts regarding Pabbly, reach us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, you can visit us at forum.pabbly.com. If you have any pricing related query, you can visit this link. So if you like this video, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe our channel.